Maybe.
Buying domains was low, Doma changing the game. One bridge, one standard, now the systems move the same. Registrar, stay central, keep the trust and control. DNS and compliance, still they play the key role. Traded on chain, let new markets arise. Domain value unlocked. Welcome to DomainFi.
Welcome to DomainFi. Welcome to Doma OnAir, episode 11. Excited to get into it today with Inder. We have a slight last minute pivot. We did have a guest lined up for today, but you know, while we may be doing some incredible revolutionary things on chain and with DomainFi, we are not able to change the weather, power outages, storms, and whatnot. So we will be back. I think maybe next week we'll bring our guests we had planned for today. But we do have several updates in the Doma ecosystem to get into today. So some exciting stuff to talk about with Inder, and we'll do maybe even a live demo here in a bit. But Inder, it's been a minute. Good to see you again. I know it's startup world, so interesting, keeping you busy, but all well in your world.
It has been busy, you know, with the way things move. Crypto, the boom cycle seems to be coming back, and AI.
You know,
yeah, it's like just killing everyone.
AI, and at the same time, how I'm curious from like a crypto startup world. Yeah. How does, like, is yesterday just another day in the office when you see God candles on Bitcoin and ETH? Does it, I'm sure it probably feels good, I'm guessing. I'm sure there's a variety of exposure to crypto throughout the team, throughout the ecosystem. But from where I sit, I side more optimistic bull than a bear 24/7, 365. But from where I sit, it really does feel like we've kind of turned the corner, and because it's not just, I really don't believe it's just some random pumps, but rather a lot of change with the administration. Yep. You get Vlad, the CEO of Robinhood chain, out there talking about, everything's getting tokenized, the world's getting tokenized. You had the day before we had the SEC come out with this proposal about, you basically, essentially, I don't know, and kind of like leading up to potentially ICO season 2, and just like so many crypto tailwinds, so many blockchain technology tailwinds. How does the last 48 hours, how does that hit inside of a startup? How do all of you feel? What is it? You're not stopping during a bear, but does it give a little extra wind behind the sails when you have things as big of a day as we had the last couple of days?
Yeah, I think more than that, it just validates the direction we all are going in, right? So I know you and I spoke about the DApps, right? Mm-hmm. DApps are the innovation Vlad is talking about, right? It's literally tokenizing previously inaccessible portfolios. And I kid you not, like, people keep asking me, hey, like, what's up with DApps? And I'm like, it's just legal. Like, we have not done anything other than legal work. So, to see Brian, see Vlad, all these guys talking about on stage, it's just like, we feel confident that the whole industry and now the government got our back, because we're trying to change and make things more accessible. And that's the way innovation should be in America. So I'm like super proud of where we are going.
Good. That's awesome. It's exciting. Yeah, I was fortunate. I had a securities attorney jump on my morning show yesterday and just give his perspective from that, that SEC proposal. And it really is, I think you nailed it. It's almost like those of us that are here, we've kind of believed in this or seen this vision for years, but it's a confirmation of priors. Right. We were heading on the right path, and now we're much closer than ever before. And you talk about legal, I think one of the things that probably comes out of this SEC proposal is shorter paths, right? Like more, not that everything will be boilerplate or it'll be a standard template, but at least clarity, right? And I don't mean it like in the form of Clarity Act, but clarity in the sense that, we don't have to guess, and like a gray area becomes much more black and white, right? Much more, okay, we know how to do this, versus attorneys and legal guessing this is maybe what I want to see. But
also, I know like this is not the topic, but I feel like every crypto person can relate to it. I think for a while things felt punitive, like you were guessing and you were getting punished. And now like SEC at least is saying, hey, we want to work with you. We want to find solutions. And, all of us want to do right for every person, right? We're not here for anything else. So I think it just felt like there is a change this year where it feels like less punitive, anything you do in crypto.
Yeah. Well said. I mean, I'm old enough to remember the SEC having a war on crypto.
Yeah.
Now they're coming out like about as pro crypto. Like, it's almost like what's the catch, right? It's almost like it's such a 180 from where it was. And to your point, yeah, it's like good intention, good people were attempting to do right, and not, they wanted to move forward things that they felt would help the masses. And even if they were doing everything right, oftentimes the SEC would come out with a Wells notice or file a full-blown lawsuit, and without any, really any reasoning or knowledge. And now it does seem, I don't want to just simplify it as much more common sense, but it seems like there's a collective on both parties, all sides now, like, hey, let's build some rules. Let's have some actual framework so those that are good intentioned can go forward, and we can prevent because unfortunately in the prior regime, it was often or prior landscape, it was often those that didn't have good intentions were the ones who ended up, quote unquote, winning big in terms of financially, because they didn't, it was short in and out, and not looking to really build anything sustainable because of, the landscape itself. Anyways, I digress. Bull or bear, it's not slowed you all down. Doma's been very busy just in the past month, talking about shipping, several things. Well, today we're going to get into trading bot strategies, new chat feature, the DOMAXX Creator Collective that just got announced today. Those creators, congratulations, by the way, to all the creators, anyone tuning in. Love to see it. And then last but not least, we'll talk a little bit about D3 Edge, which I think this is the first time any public conversation around D3 Edge, right?
That is correct. Yeah. I don't even think we've made like any press release. We've just been very quietly building it.
Awesome. You heard it here. Then exclusive launch, exclusive alpha coming today on Doma OnAir. Don't go anywhere. We'll get, and probably I should also say probably a little shorter show than we've ran previously with some of our guests, but we'll get through all those updates. And if you do have any questions, please do drop them in the chat down below. We'll do our best to get everything answered. And we did get one from Ryder, says lots of top level domains are crypto native, like Bitcoin, crypto, and now Graham. Do you think this whispers something about domains becoming crypto native?
Oh, domains are going to become crypto native. That's why we are here. We are also doing some public comments on ICANN's ruling around crypto native DLDs and stuff like that. So yes, this is the mark of an era right now. Very exciting.
Very exciting. App.doma.xyz for anyone new tuning in. If you've not checked it out, we'll do some demos here in a bit and show you some more stats and stuff. But as I mentioned earlier, our guest, the Halburn guest we had lined up, couldn't make it today. Will potentially be joining us next week. If not, we'll do our best to get him on at some point in the future. But still an exciting show, as mentioned, talking trading bots, chat feature, this DOMAXX Creator Collective, and something completely different. This D3 Edge new product from D3 that's tied to a study of like 10,000 websites. So excited, and I'm going to be learning right along with you. So when I'm asking questions, it's genuine curiosity. You all shipped a lot last month. This DOMAXX Creator Program launched with a $10,000 USD reward pool. That's definitely not nothing. And we're talking about these trading bot strategies a little bit. I know you tease some in the Doma weekly update is coming soon. Well, today we find out where exactly those stand. And then, as I mentioned, we'll wrap the show talking D3 Edge and what the heck it even is and what does it mean. And, different product entirely, not Doma, not Domain 5, but still built by the D3 team. And last but not least, let me, I'll pull up some numbers here to share with our audience if you've not seen them as of late, because the protocol activity continues to grow. And what did I type in something wrong
there? The volume has been pretty sustained and growing. I think in general, I feel like there's a lot of even cross-chain swaps happening right now on Doma. So it's been good. We've been spending a lot of time tweaking. We're going to be rolling out our mesh integration in a couple of weeks. So we're very bullish on that too. So that should lead to even more volume.
It probably sounds ignorant, but what is that? What is that? What is a mesh?
Yeah. So right now, if you have money in Kraken, Binance, Coinbase, which a lot of folks do, it's a pain in the ass to actually use that money on Doma. So once you do that, that'll be actually trivial. With one click, you'll be able to get money from your Robinhood account and use it on Doma.
Very cool. I know you guys have been, and apologies, this is not part of the agenda. I probably should have asked pre-show. I know you guys have been working very closely with Solana. You've got your own blockchain. It also works on a very multi-chain, omni-chain approach. I asked because Robinhood chain kind of, we were talking Vlad there and the moves they're making, and from a attempt to tokenize the world and push some policy stuff forward. Chain itself's been doing some pretty solid numbers and driving a lot of attention as of late. Any plans there that you're able to speak to as it relates to Robinhood chain?
Yeah, no, I think we are always chain agnostic, right? Like while we do have the protocol on Doma chain, our vision is the internet is an open standard, much like all the chains. So we already support like the biggest blockchains, Base, AVAX, Polygon, obviously Solana, which is our biggest partner. So yeah, we will plan to support Robinhood chain. We are gonna start to talk about that in the next couple of weeks.
Awesome. I personally am very excited about it. I think that nothing against Base. I think that the Robinhood chain team had, and all the way up to their CEO Vlad, it seems a little different pulse on the crypto natives than maybe Base did with their chain. Both are going to do well. Neither of them are going to go anywhere. But it's also another two's better than one when you talk about onboarding mechanisms. And I can see a lot of traders, people that have Robinhood accounts, like 30 million of them.
Yeah,
maybe they start trading stocks on chain because it's 24/7. It's a better product. But I think even a small percentage of them works their way into exploring other things. Something like Domain makes so much sense because they're familiar with it, right? They already know what it is, and just like once they realize, I can do more trading stocks on chain than I can off chain.
Also, the cycle.
Look at domains, right?
It's also the cycle, right? Like we were talking about Clarity Act. I think RWAs are getting more tailwinds because the government's behind it. The tech exists. You did not have tokenized domains or tokenized stocks, in the same way even a year ago. So Robinhood chain being focused on RWAs, Solana focused on RWAs. I think it's just so many tailwinds right now to help gain adoption.
Agreed. Good stuff. Well, I got these stats pulled up for those that are listening and don't have the screen in front of you. I'll rattle a few of them off here, but really impressive numbers up across the board. Once again, I guess a couple of them flat, barely, but for the most part, up and up and up. We got total liquidity pushing upwards of 1 million. Total volume almost 300 million. Just hit 299 million. Unique wallets 56,000. Total transactions over 31 million, and the network asset value is just over 75 million now. So. Love to see it. And, while everyone likes, or not everyone, a lot of people like want to talk about blow off tops and 1000Xs. I don't know. I think this is healthy growth, right? It's you've been building in a bear. It's continually growing, continue to onboard users, continue to add domains, continue to ship new features, new products. And, it just feels like a much more sustainable metrics than you see the overnight success that comes out of nowhere and starts on crazy numbers, and then it's right back to where it started, a week later. But congrats on the big numbers, and let's just jump into it here. I don't want to. We could probably talk RWAs and tokenizing the world for hours, but let's talk about these trading bot strategies. I saw in the last landed in the last month, and I heard these trading bots are coming soon. Can you share a little bit of info on what they are, how they work, and how listeners might be able to capitalize with them?
Yeah. Before I go in there, a lot of people on the Doma ecosystem, Mike has been building these mini games, right? And Mike's not an engineer. He built the entire gaming engine purely with AI. Trading today is very different from what trading was even 6 months ago. Since Opus came out, life has been extremely different. So, we started talking to people, in our ecosystem on Discord. A few people messaged me and they're like, "Hey, Inder, I want to do this, and I've been trying to do this with Claude. How do I actually do, deploy it, right?" Because people know what they want. What they don't know is where to run the strategy, right? No one knows how to set up servers. No one knows how to set up indexing, things like that. So that's where this idea came in. What if we built a mini platform where, hey, you had an idea. I want to buy low, sell high. I want to do like a DCA, dollar cost averaging. I want to do a grid strategy. Uh, I have the idea, but I don't know how to do it. So our goal is to one, start off with a few curated strategies to give you like a little bit of a sandbox. We don't want, people to go wild. But then I think our final goal is to make everything accessible via Claude or ChatGPT.
Okay.
So you go in and you say, hey, I have this cool idea. And ChatGPT using our MCP just deploys your trading strategy. So initially, we are launching the grid strategies, the buy low, sell high strategies, and a couple of other strategies. But I think it'll be really exciting to see people use it in creative manners, but then actually build on that and deploy their own strategies using our CLI and MCP.
So, so does that? Would the user be connecting my instance of Claude, my instance of ChatGPT, and then that works with Doma?
Yep.
Am I understanding that right? Interesting.
That's the beauty. Or if you wanted, there's a Doma AI now. You can also just go to Doma and deploy your strategy directly there. Or, as part of your Claude instance, just code it up.
Very cool. Very cool. I get excited too, because while it makes sense, I applaud you. I'm not surprised you being so tech forward that you're ahead of the curve here, but I think this is sort of the stuff that not only in trading, I think that we see more and more of that. And what I mean of that is the option of using native AI, like the Doma AI, something you built into your platform, or if I want to connect my instance, I can link. And I know there's others out there that exist today, but I don't know there's that many. It's today, a lot of it's either I'm using the native AI, whatever they're using, or I can use mine, but that's the only way to get in. There's not, or the one they have is like, it's AI from like 4 years ago. I think having the optionality of both is probably, I don't want to say it's inevitable, or it's going to be inevitable in the future. You think so? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was almost going to go there. I think, inevitable that most, if it's an interactive, if you're doing anything on the internet, you're going to have these options to either work with a smart, assistant natively, or connect your go-to LLM of choice. And
it's called the headless SaaS model.
Okay.
Yeah. So I will take a bet that at least half of the registrars will be headless in the next 6 months.
Oh, wow.
I will take that bet with anyone. All major registrars already have headless integrations, but headless SaaS model is going to become more pervasive. And even D3 Edge that we'll talk about, I kind of call it like headless human. Your visitor, when they show up to your site, will be coming from Claude, not from on your website. So yeah, this model is basically inevitable at this point.
Yeah, this is it's very exciting. It just it's exciting for Doma. It's also exciting, like the tech nerd in me is like, yes, this we finally made it to the Jetsons era. We're just lacking the flying cars. I know there's a younger audience probably just with the Jetsons.
Yeah. So what the hell is the Jetsons? Or a Flintstone.
So who is this? The trading bots, is this built for more like active traders that want to layer strategies on top of their manual trades, or is this more of for the set it and forget it kind of passive investor, or both? Who is this mostly built for?
I think it's mostly for set it and forget it. Because before Claude, those people were not empowered, right? You were not going to go write scripts and have sophisticated strategies. So I think with AI it's easier. So I think it's for that crowd. Hey, I have the idea and I'm going to put it on Doma and set it and forget it. Passive investing is going to be pretty huge on Doma.
I love it. So I guess is this live yet, or is this coming soon? Where do we stand with the timeline?
Yeah, it's live, but it's in a limited rollout. So one of the things that we've been doing is we are starting to create internal cohorts of users that we roll it out to. So this way, a lot of our friendly users give us feedback before we go live. So it's been live. People are trying it out. The precursor for this was limit orders, which is fully live. But within the next 7 days, we expect to roll this out to pretty much everyone on the internet.
Very cool. So you mentioned limit orders. What sort of other, I guess you mentioned limit orders, you mentioned grid. What sort of other, like, kind of, I guess, walk us through how it's going to work or what we might expect when they get access.
Yeah, so grid strategies is the big one. I think it's simple enough where, you don't need to be a very savvy trader to tap into a grid strategy. So that'll be the big one. We're also doing dollar cost averaging. A lot of people just want like a simple way to, invest their money. Limit orders, which is the basis for, buy low, sell high, or the other way around. And then what we're thinking about is kind of like a take profit, stop loss kind of a strategy, where you can invest some principal and then at some point take profit to cover your principal and then keep the rest invested. So just, very simple stuff that most of us want who are not advanced traders, but will dramatically improve your experience of trading in Doma.
Yep. I love it. Awesome. If anyone has any questions regarding the trading bot strategies, feel free to drop them in the chat. We can circle back to them. I do want to keep moving though. Next thing, I want to talk about chat a little bit. Now, chat may seem like, oh, everyone's got a chat. This is a little different. And I think the first thing I noticed is there's two different chats. So let's break that down a little bit. I see there's a Doma AI chat that lives in the corner of every page, and now there's also a community chat for every token page. What's the difference?
Yeah, we are actually trying to merge it. So Doma AI, again, going back to the headless model, right? Users are just now used to asking questions than actually using the UI. So we added Doma AI. It has access to all our docs. And, when people come from Web2, I think especially, they don't understand crypto. So they have a lot of questions. Hey, what's FTP? What's this? What's that? What's bonding? But then, as we started like kind of working on it, we realized that, hey, the community actually wants to just talk to each other. So that's where the community chat came in. So if you, buy a domain token, you basically become an owner, right? At that point. So we think it's like an ownership chat. You can see all the owners being able to talk to each other about the domain that they own. And the beauty is that it will actually have Doma AI in that chat. There's another term that's picking up in AI. It's called multiplayer AI. So typically, you go to Claude, it's you, or ChatGPT, it's you and ChatGPT chatting with each other. But almost all companies realize it's actually more fun to chat with AI when you have friends in your chat. So imagine going to community chat, obviously being able to talk to other domain owners, but also like being able to tap into, we literally use ChatGPT for Doma AI, kind of use ChatGPT as part of that chat. So yeah, the worlds are colliding, and that's where the chat is going on our interface.
I love it. And it's, again, back to probably something that inevitably becomes table stakes for most sites you interact with in the future. It's just, you all are early to this, and you made me. I don't think I've shared this, but recently, it's kind of embarrassing to admit, but recently I purchased a domain on Interstellar, tokenized it, and I needed to. It's embarrassing because I don't even know the right verb. I don't know if it's just forwarding the domain or changing the. Anyways. Not being the expert, I'd done this stuff before, but it just been a while since I had redirected or forwarded a domain. And long story short, I just used ChatGPT or Claude, one of the two. I don't remember exactly which one. And not only did it like walk me through everything I needed to do, it like went and did it for me.
Yeah,
it's like,
no, you can do that on Doma today. You can tell it, I want to buy software.ai, and I want to set up a subdomain, and I want to set it to this website. It will do everything. It will do everything. Yeah.
Yep. It's amazing to think of like I was also trying to think back, what would have I done like back in the day, like before I had AI, and I probably would have called a friend. I maybe would have spent hours researching on the internet trying to figure out, okay, how the heck do I? Because it was like a relatively simple thing too. It's just it wasn't something I do every day, and I had forgotten. And instead of me like trying to hunt and peck and spend hours. I just typed what I wanted to do, and it just did the thing for me. I was like, I know this is like that's not too big of a deal, but it's more of like than that specific thing being a big deal. It's just like this is the world we're entering, and while it may become table stakes for most of these both tech companies and non-tech companies, they got a public-facing site. I think the fact that you all are early to this, on the leading edge, as opposed to catching up in a year or two, I think just says a lot about your team.
I will, Cap, like make another bet with anyone who's listening, which is like the new TLD round just closed this yesterday, right? By the time the next new TLDs come, most of them, the best ones, are in AI and crypto. The most successful TLD will be run without any front-end UI. I promise you that. Like the rumors are already there in the circles, but headless registrars, headless registries, headless ownership, headless identity. It's coming. It's coming, and people will not know how fast it gets adopted.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about. It's crazy to think about, but then when you say it's like, well, yeah, I can see it.
Yeah,
I can see it. To me, it's like years off in the future. To your point, it's like, this might be still a 2026 type time frame, huh?
Oh yeah. No, there's like with AI, there is nothing in years. Months is a stretch. We talk about it in like weeks.
Amazing. So these a couple more questions in the chat, and then we will talk about this creator collective, which I am really excited to dig into. For the community chat on the token pages, is this basically like a live comment section for each domain, or is there more to it than that?
Yeah. So like I was saying, I think we'll add Doma AI to that. So it basically becomes the home of that domain. And then we've been like talking about ideas that, hey, as a domain owner, could you like create proposals, right? Hey, we think this domain should redirect to the site. Oh, we should do this, we should do that. But I think all proposals, all of that starts with like a kind of like a chat or a comments section, and that's where we are right now. So we're like in inning zero, right now, basically of 9 innings.
I love it. Any early moderation or spam concerns now that every token has a live chat attached to it?
Yeah, we spent some time thinking about it because not just chat, you can upload your own text and images for domains. So we do have like a moderation system that we use internally. So yeah, hopefully. But if you see anything, just ping me on Discord or Twitter.
Yeah, if not that we want to see that, but if we
don't,
I might be slightly disappointed that like, what are you? Kidding. Back to let me pull up here. What I do with it? Oh, there we go. So I mentioned this DOMAXX Creator Collective. I want to do a screen share here and show the site for those that haven't seen it yet or are listening into the audio later. You can go to Max, M-A-X-X, 2 X's, maxx.doma.xyz, and let's talk about DOMAXX. What I'll pull the screen up here in a second, and then I know this has been out in the community. There was a post this morning that announced the first cohort of creators here. But Inder, what do people need to know about? What do they need to know to start maxing on Doma?
Yeah, so websites and domains have always been like creator oriented, right? When do people buy a domain? Because you have an idea in your mind, right? So I think this is kind of like a nod to that kind of a style of development on websites. So we, I think, announced it maybe, I want to say last week or the week before, and we were just humbled by how many applications we got for this program. So it's a cohort-based system. So I think the team, Mark, Mike, everyone kind of put their heads together, and they just selected the first cohort that got announced today. So the goal is that as you come to Doma, obviously trading gives you points, other benefits, but how more can we help you earn from Doma, right? So if you contribute content, you post videos, you make educational videos, you get more understanding and knowledge out in the ecosystem, you participate in this pool of USDC and DOMA tokens. So that's the goal. The program was live, like I think a couple of weeks ago, and today, like the first cohort of users went live. So yeah, and I've seen a lot of these people are really have been part of our community for a while. So I'm super excited about this first cohort.
I love it. Well, congratulations. I got it pulled up here on screen, that first cohort. Congratulations to all that were selected. For those that are just hearing this for the first time, or maybe they applied and they weren't selected, what are they still able to participate? Is it wait till the next one? What does that look like for those that aren't on this list?
Yeah, I recommend applying as soon as possible. But yeah, the program is in cohorts. So if you didn't make it this time, we'll get you in the next time. But it's an evergreen program, and we're pretty bullish on it right now.
Very cool. So you can see 10,000 each cycle plus tokens. Yep. This is what Maxine plays: create valuable content, educate the community, connect with builders to support ecosystem growth, and earn based on your contributions. Content comprises of 20%, so you can post threads, videos about Doma, assessed by the team each cycle. 30% come from referrals, so you get a unique wallet. Any unique wallets that trade via your referral link. They must execute at least one trade, and then volume. 50% of it goes to volume based off your wallet and referred wallets, all Doma token pairs. And you can earn 10,000 USDC plus domain tokens. And then I would be remiss if I didn't at least shout out Max. Yeah. Max is new, right? Max the River Otter. Is this has he been I guess a mascot, or is Max brand new with this creator program?
It's brand new with this creator program. We spend a lot of time going back and forth, and Max won everyone's heart internally. So Max is the Doma mascot.
So it's never dry, always moving, always liquid. Yeah, good choice. I don't know, were there other? I'm a fan of otters. I think it's random, but the small southern Indiana town I lived prior to moving to Florida, there was otters were the minor league baseball team there, and I always thought it was like an underrated mascot. I thought otters deserve more love in the world of sports and mascots in general, because it is such a fun a fun creature.
Before this, you were asking, in testnet we had other mascots. We had Ziggy, and I don't know if you remember the penguin, the lion. So that was testnet, right? Mm-hmm. But for a while, we kept saying, hey, now we're in mainnet, we gotta pick a mascot that actually represents our values and our business, and that's where Max came.
I love it. I love it. Will we see? Is Max going to be? I mean, my assumption we'll see him throughout other areas of other marketing, ads, etc. Not the creator program.
Yeah, that is correct.
And also, thinking from my creator hat, it also domains. While I think DomainFi is incredible, and I think a $360 billion industry coming on chain is very exciting and a lot to talk about there. But when you think about visually speaking, it's kind of hard to visualize a domain when you're creating content, right? You can do screen shares, you can show charts, you can show stats. But I think, and not that any of these creators have to use Max, but I do think having a fun character to incorporate into that content, it will lead to more content that other consumers might pay attention to, versus just it's just another video with a bunch of charts.
Plus, there's identity that the community shares, right? Exactly. It's our shared identity right now.
Exactly. So I guess my unscripted, not another curveball question for you. When Max merch? Are we going to get some Otter merch?
It's been ordered.
Okay.
Really soon. Yeah.
Perfect. So, Wes, if you're listening in, I will gladly rock I got my Dominion tee on. Knowing the quality of merch that you guys ship, I would gladly rock a Max hoodie or any maybe a Max backwards cap. Gladly sport some Max merch for y'all on Doma OnAir.
I got you covered along with Wes.
Amazing. So before we get into D3, if anyone has any other questions on the creator cohort, Max, feel free to drop them in the chat down below. Discord only is how they join right now. If someone wants to join or apply, just click through the site again. It's maxx.doma.xyz. You you link right to the Discord, and they fill out the application in there. Is that right?
That is correct. Yeah, everything's on max.doma.xyz. So which takes you to Discord. But yeah, that's the best way to get started. And most of you on Discord already know Mike. I'm also very active on Discord. So tag Mike or me if you need any help.
Very cool. I did see there's a $500,000 combined trading volume threshold for the full pool to unlock.
Yeah.
What happened? And that's 500 across the whole cohort. Is that right?
Yep, that is correct.
So it seems like pretty attainable when you're talking, too many individuals. But what happens if the cohort doesn't hit that?
So I think that's the fun part of the program, right? Like the community is rallying behind to hit that volume goals, and the community gets the benefits, right? So I think the benefits of 10,000 USDC pretty easily outweigh the volume. It's very unlikely it's not going to get hit. Our volume has been growing significantly, but yeah, that's the risk reward part of it, right? Where we do want creators to not just hit the goal, but actually be very proud that they hit the goal, right? It's like, how many programs out there can creators be like, hey, I actually drove $500,000 in volume. So it's not just like a gate for the money, but I think it's a gate to increase the bar, which makes you be really proud of being part of this program.
Agreed. I mean, if I could add to that, and that doing it this way, it's like a real cohort. Like, I think you're going to have a new community within the community be spawned out of this and challenge each other, have fun, help each other with content. And yeah, I think the approach it makes a lot of sense. And for those creators out there that are tuned in, we'll be fair to all, but happy to help amplify. If you got some great content you'd like to get out there, both on this show where appropriate, and even my morning show, feel free to send it my way or tag me in the comments or something. And if it makes sense, I'm happy to share and help amplify. And it's again this concept of creators supporting each other and helping each other out and helping amplify their posts, their content. Not only does it help those creators, but at the end of the day, it's helping Doma, right? It's getting more calls. It's creating much more of a this groundswell of while there is money to be made, I feel it's more of like a organic community creative approach as opposed to some of the, I don't say farming programs you see, but Infofy and some things that have maybe garnish some negative connotations on crypto Twitter or X or whatever. This I don't feel or see that at all with this, how you guys have built this.
Yeah, also like it expands the pie, right? I think for a while we were in this like zero-sum game, but that's not what domains are, right? The internet is expanding. Like people don't realize the GTLD round just closed. Like we literally got 16,000 new extensions coming onto the market.
16,000.
Sorry, 1,600. Sorry, I misspoke. 1,600.
Even still, 1,600 is massive.
And this is like people, like, we were talking about Telegram. Oh, sorry, Robinhood, right? But Telegram announced that they're applying for .gram. So it's not just us saying that the market is huge. It's literally every tech company CEO saying the market is huge. As of this time, .BTC, .Bitcoin, .Base, .gram, they've all been announced by one party or the other, most likely contested by many, many people. So the writing's on the wall. And I think the creators that get in right now are getting in super early. They're like literally going to be at the forefront as the industry explodes. They'll be like remembered as the people who built the industry from the ground up in Spain.
I agree. Yeah, what an exciting time. I mean, tech in general, you're talking the advancements in AI, the tailwinds behind blockchain technology, and to think that domain's really at the core of that, and of this RWA revolution of everything coming on chain. It's a really exciting time. And again, big congrats to all those early cohorts. If you're not selected, don't give up. This one wraps up in September, and then I assume like a little break between then and selecting the next class and back in another next campaign. Is that a correct?
That is correct. Yep.
Awesome. So again, this is the first official Doma creator cohort. Real people, no bots here. the bots are just going to be in the chat bot and otherwise, but no bots in this. This is real people doing, real posts. And it's also, it's not just what content they're putting out, but also bringing in, the referrals and the trade volume, and just really a complete creator program. So love to see it. All right, D3. Let me. I'm going to pull this down. I think you might have a screen to share. But what? Let's talk about this edge. What is? I mean, we'll just start there.
Yeah.
What is D3 Edge?
Yeah. So a lot of us spend pretty much every breathing moment immersed in AI, right? Like literally 90% of the code at this point is being written by AI, right? But that's not just engineers, right? Like you literally go to your friend's mom's or dad's house, and you see even them talking to ChatGPT now. It's like the iPhone moment. I don't know if you guys remember, when the iPhone came out, everyone was like, ha ha ha, no one will use it. But all of a sudden, it just clicked in everyone's brain. And within a couple of years, people were like, it's iPhone, Android, or nothing else. The paradigm shifted. AI is doing this at an even faster rate. So 2023, ChatGPT first came out. In November of 2023, New York Times came and sued ChatGPT that, hey, you basically scraped our content, and that's how you trained ChatGPT. And it started this debate hey, who's paying for this data? Who's not paying for this data? Finally, in 2025, all the big AI model companies kind of caved, in the US at least. Since then, when you go and you say, hey, find me the best burger in Florida, right? You're no longer doing a Google search, right?
Yep.
Somehow magically, ChatGPT says, this is the best burger, you gotta go to this random diner in Orlando. And how did it come to that? Now, if you were that random diner, do you know how, you found that answer? Now, if you were blocking all the training crawlers, what would have happened to that customer? And that's the problem every single website owner today is facing. You don't want your content stolen for training. You don't get paid for it, or you want to get paid for it. But at the same time, you want to let the users in. Like, hey, I'm here just to know about your merch, right? I'm not here to steal your data. So that is what D3 Edge is, right? We built literally an Edge plugin, think kind of like a CDN or a DDoS protection bot, sits in 300 different cities around the world and listens to your traffic. And it gives you the ability to understand who's coming in, but more importantly, why are they there? Can you say that this is a real user coming from Claude trying to learn about your product versus just a random crawler trying to steal your data? And that's basically D3 Edge in a nutshell. Why are they here and who are they? That's it. It's the biggest problem right now on the internet. DDoS protection, all of this goes away if you can prove identity and purpose, because you have basically Mark jokes, it's like a booth, right? Like a toll booth, right? Hey, I'll let you in if I see your passport. I know who you are. You'll go in, and while you're here, you'll go in. Otherwise, stay out.
Yeah, really, I haven't had this conscious thought yet, but you're right. They want to protect their site. They don't want it to be used nefariously or have their stuff taken. They want to lose that competitive edge. But at the same time, if they say nope, none of these. No AI can touch our site, it'd be like delisting your business from Google and Yelp and all the online directories. And it's like, good luck surviving if you're not able to be found. And that's I would say we're heading to this world. I think we're there.
No. We are genuinely there. This is what I when I think of product, I think painkiller versus a vitamin. This is a painkiller. I come from literally 15 years in marketing and advertising background. I talk to my friends. They're like, dude, we're doing all the SEO stuff. but our traffic is going down. No one's clicking on an ad. Claude is not going around clicking on the ad on your site, so how are you going to make revenue now?
Yep.
So all of our customers that we are working with right now, they're pinging us. They're like, hey, we're seeing the traffic go down. We don't see our users being able to find us. How do we fix that? So it's been like a little bit of a nightmare. As end users, we don't understand this pain. But if you operate a small business, you operate a big business, you are really struggling right now to, kind of get your traffic fully like sorted.
I know it's probably a good time to talk. I know you guys did a case study, 10,000 websites. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is this on the what screen share here?
It's not, but I can like share that screen too.
Okay.
So if you go to if you want to pull up my screen again. So what we did is we did actually grade like top 10,000 sites. So these are not even like small websites, right? We're talking about by traffic. These are the top 10,000 websites in the entire world globally. It is mind-boggling how many of these sites did not know who was coming in and who was not coming, why they were there. So what was happening is all these agents coming in, they had this like on and off switch on the robots.txt. So when New York Times told like, hey, you guys are stealing our data, they basically put an off switch. Now they're losing out to all the answers, right? Hey, like this user just wants to know, more than anything else, like, what you're doing. So it became an all or nothing. But versus like, none of these people actually know what is happening. So like I said, like, a new portal comes up. With that, a new harness comes up. Now you don't really know if the user came from that harness or did not come from that harness. So even the top 10,000 websites have no idea who's being let in because it's AI. You and I were chatting, right? We talk about things in days and weeks, not years. If the top 10,000 websites on Earth cannot keep their crawler record and track, I don't think a normal store can anymore.
They're cooked. Yeah, small medium business owner, the startup, the local restaurant or pizza shop, like, and it may like may not sound like a big deal. Maybe a pizza shop isn't the best example because it's maybe a lot of repeat customers. But yeah, like this is if it's call it half of the top 10,000 sites, it's probably like 10% of your average small medium business, if I were to guess.
Yeah, and look at this, right? This is like a real website, right? 70% of the traffic is coming agentic. Like this is not made up numbers. This is a real website. I ask you to go to jobsniper.com right now and actually go to the website. Now, maybe not for the pizza shop owner, but if you're doing anything that has human content, e-commerce, like, e-commerce was famous. You don't want to tell everyone your data because your competitors might be stealing your SKUs, your products, or their pricing. Now, you are on the site, like, hey, 70% of the traffic is agents. And if you look at it, like literally, like the biggest one is there to train data. Like we can prove it. This is the Facebook agent. Like Llama has been trying to catch up with, GPT and everyone else. Go Google this. Llama has the most aggressive training crawler out there, like right now, because they've been trying to get training data. Now, do you know why the user came? Was it training data? Was it like, you were saying SEO? Was it to answer someone's question? Maybe someone was looking for a job and just wanted to know, hey, can I find jobs in San Diego? And it's a job website. Why do we need like so many requests for link previews? Is this suspicious? Maybe it's not. I don't know. But you cannot see that anywhere in the world today. And it's a big problem.
It is a problem.
You can't prove this. Like you can't say like, hey, I know for a fact this is ChatGPT. Like how many people know how to prove that a request coming from Anthropic is Claude or from OpenAI is ChatGPT? We can actually prove it cryptographically, not just guess it.
Seems like a really big deal.
It is a pretty big deal.
I'm going to bite my tongue. I'm not going to get off on some Zuck tangent, but this is my first time seeing this, so it's not lost on me that Zuck comes out and like, oh, we're gonna go like the nonprofit approach with our AI. We're gonna do better for the world. We're gonna make our AI. We're gonna make it all open source and be the good guys here. And oh, by the way, we're doing at the same time we're doing everything we can to steal all your data to train our AI.
Yep. Yeah. There is no free lunch, so like so I think that's the thing, right? Like there's a lot of jargon on this page, like identity, this, that. But in simple English, all we're saying is like who's here, what they're here to do. And are you okay with them doing that? Maybe, I'm okay with Facebook taking the data, but hey, pay me a licensing fees. Again, the big guys already do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
New York Times now gets paid by all of these companies to train on the data. But going back to a job sniper, are you going to get paid by OpenAI? Do you even know? Should you be getting paid by OpenAI? Like, so can you do crawl? Like, the X402, why did X402 not pick up? Because it's just, there's no like business case. Now you can make a very clear case that, hey, I'm seeing 30% of my traffic is coming from Facebook. I think I deserve some licensing fees or royalty as part of my data being contributed to, Llama.
Very interesting. So is this built for Doma users? Is this completely different audience? Who is the target D3 Edge, I guess, consumer?
Yeah, that's a great question. And that's why I think we kept it under the D3 brand versus the Doma brand. So the lines are blurring, right? I think, within the last 6 to 12 months, more people have created good websites than in the entire, 5 years before that, right? So a lot of Doma users will also be creating websites, but for this product, the audience is someone who has a website that actually has traffic. So, Doma is more for investment and domain-fi. This is more for like the Shopify's of the world, the e-commerce sites of the world, the media sites of the world, right? Because a media site would want to know, hey, who's coming here? Can I like toll it? Can I block this traffic? So in my mind, I think D3 is for content. Doma is for investment and finance.
Makes sense.
Kind of a thing.
So would then, I guess, D3 Edge be affiliated with Doma or more of like a sister company in a sense?
Yeah. So, D3 has always been its own company. I'm a D3 employee. So D3, helps build the Doma protocol, right? We're the biggest contributor to Doma protocol. So D3 will still be using Doma. So tomorrow when, let's say, this website says, hey, I want to get paid for this data, the settlement's still going to happen on Doma because, it's all crypto, right?
Mm-hmm.
At this point, Visa has a AI program, gets paid in crypto. Cloudflare has an agentic crawling program, gets paid in crypto. Google, GoDaddy are proposing a program, gets paid in crypto. So the writing's on the wall. Payments in the age of AI are all crypto. So while the product is D3, the entire settlement will always be Doma. Everything that gets paid on this whale will go through Doma.
Got it. So can you expand on that identity piece a little bit? I've seen terms like proven and derived and spoof. What all those mean for an actual site owner?
Yeah. So I think the same thing, right? Like, so let's say, I chose this because I think a lot of these are popular names that most people can relate to, right? Everyone knows Google has a bot, right? You want to show up in your Google results, right? Everyone wants to be in Google. Now, can you prove when someone says, hey, I'm Google, how do you know it's Google, right? So Google recently started cryptographically signing its requests. We have also been working with the Cloudflare Radar registry. This week, we started working with GoDaddy's and Google's ANS, agent name service. So what we're doing is we're going through with all the bot operators and having them actually start signing the request that, hey, I'm here. Because, as a website operator, you don't have the mental bandwidth, right? You just want to build your e-commerce site. You don't want to think about this. So we go enroll these bots in verification programs where they sign all requests that they send out. And that's how we can prove why they're there. But more on top of that, we are also coming up with like a open framework to start talking about, why are you there, right? Like, oh, I'm Google, but my Google bot here is for Vertex, which is their AI training bot, versus this is for SEO. So as a business owner, you're saying, hey, I'm okay with SEO. That actually is good. But I'm not okay with Vertex, right? Because that's going to steal my data. So not only do we want to have people understand that, we want to have them understand the impact of that bot on their traffic. But then, Cap also consider, I was giving the example of Telegram, right? .gram. Imagine if every Telegram user, when they opened a link from Telegram, could sign their identity automatically with their Telegram user. So, my TG handle.gram. So that's the world we're moving towards. At some point, these agents will actually have a human identity tied to it. Open standards are emerging. Google, along with Linux Foundation, is proposing some really big standards. But I don't want to get into technical jargon. Like, the reality will be this will actually be end users pretty soon. And the platforms will be proving that, hey, it's Inder coming for the visit. It's Inder trying to do research. He's about to buy a shoe, and that's why he's going to Nike.com, even though he's using his, Claude code to do that.
Exactly, because it may be an agent going, but it's a human who directed it. It's not the LLM itself trying to scrape data. It's a human with a legitimate question that's just trying to be more efficient.
Yeah, like yesterday, Tempo released their biometric-based verification. So you do something on GitHub, you literally put in your fingerprints to prove I approve this, right? So now the human identity is tied to the outgoing request. So it's a frontier program. This is something most people haven't experienced because it's so like literally at the edge of the technology right now. So, but the human verification is going to be very important in the future.
Absolutely, absolutely. Are you able to actually pull it up and give us a quick demo, an observe mode or anything, or? So these are requests coming in right now that are hitting. There's our friends over at Facebook, at Meta. You weren't kidding, Jesus. If for those that don't have the video pulled up, it's like the first. This is just now, like 3 in the last second. We're all from Meta. 3 minutes ago, there was another from Meta. 6 minutes ago, Meta. 9 minutes ago, Meta. Every few minutes or multiple minutes. Then we go 23 minutes ago. There was 2 from Amazon. Then some from BingBot. Then you got a CloudBot down there. Oh, I think we muted you. Sorry. Let me. Oh, I can't.
I was saying, this is all live traffic. It's literally, see, I just sent this request. So this is one of my personal projects. So I can prove my identity, but I can't prove the purpose. So this is all like real traffic coming in real time. And this is live on the sites. So you can see we take it very seriously. Yes, we can prove identity, but we can't prove why they're here because they're not enrolled in our verification program. So all of this, every single open standard is saying, do all this proof on chain. Doma will be the home for all this identity proofs for the entire internet.
Again, it seems like a pretty big deal. So I guess if I as a site owner, if I run this site today, what's one thing that it's going to tell me I'm probably getting wrong?
Yeah, Yeah, I think you'll be very surprised by the amount of traffic and why they're here. That would be like what I think we've seen people get surprised. They're like, oh, I don't get any traffic. Oh,
Uh-huh.
like, like that's not the reason. And they're like, wait, you're telling me like 20% of my traffic is coming from users asking questions on Claude?
It also makes me think like web traffic today is not the same as web traffic even a year ago, let alone 5 years ago or 10 years ago, right? Like web traffic today, those from the investor standpoint, while it's all important, probably got to like peel back the onion a little bit and what kind of traffic is it? Because if
Yeah.
it's just Zuck and his training team pinging your site dozens of times a day, it's probably not as valuable if you're a retail company trying to sell widgets or clothing or something than if it's actual real users. Is there any doing this case study? Is there any sites, or are you able to name any that like stood out as like a shining example? Hey, they're doing it right, or they seem to have this, they're at least aware of what's happening and not preventing valid requests from getting through.
Yeah. So there's two camps, right? So two success studies, that we have seen, right? One is actually e-commerce, where we're able to open up more traffic. So e-commerce tends to close out most of the traffic. We've been able to open up more traffic, which leads to more conversion rate, right? So the same example, I want to buy a shoe. Let's say Nike blocks all crawlers because they're worried about data being stolen. Adidas, let's proven users in, then we will let you open up the traffic only to proven users. That's part of our policy engine behind the scenes. So we've seen conversion rate potentially improve because real users are able to come through. That's one camp. The second camp that we're working on is the one where you have human content, right? So journalistic sites, even human authored content, right? If you have human authored content, it doesn't matter how small you are, you can get paid for that. U.com, for example, uses X402 to pay for content now. So a lot of this is where the success is coming from. Hey, either let the right person in or tell me how much of my content is valuable so that I can negotiate a pay per crawl. Even if it's a few bucks a month, it's ad revenue or revenue that I have lost that I can start making up.
Yeah, man, the world's changing so fast. It's exciting, but especially if you're in e-commerce, the stuff that like if you're not already looking at this, you're quickly going to be behind, if not already.
Yeah, exactly.
So where does this go next? Then is it? I'm sensing like D3 rather, building out a broader business outside of domains, and eventually coming back.
It's all tied to domains because these are still domains, right? We're still talking about domains being the centerpiece here. So we're going to be working with registrars. So it's the same thing. It's just that it's not investment focused. So we put it in its own,
different bucket. Yeah. Separate D3 product, not a DOMA feature. So yeah, don't want to avoid any confusion there, but exciting while feeds into the domain, separate product, not a feature. And yeah, excited to see what's next. It's certainly you talk about like solving real world problems, like this is it. And it's unique that a real world problem that a lot of people don't even know they have the problem yet, I'm going to guess, especially the smaller businesses.
Yeah.
Inder, I know you got to get out of here. Ran a little long. I said we'd go short. We end up running long anyways. Exciting stuff, changing the world on the internet anyways. Before I let you go, I'll wrap us up, but any closing comments, anything we didn't hit on today that you wanted to make sure we covered?
No, I think you're thanks to you. You're an amazing host. It's always a pleasure talking to you. And, you drive the show really well. I always like to leave, asking people for feedback, right? We recently started doing office hours in Doma, Discord, but don't wait for those, right? So if you have feedback, I'm always on Discord and Twitter, just ping me. If you operate a website, now is a great time to start talking to us. Be early, get part of this AI program. So if you operate a bot or you operate a website, I want to talk to you. So those will be like, the two major things, and then obviously I want to thank our community, like these numbers, we can pull post about them all day long. But the only reason we have these numbers is because people who believe in Doma and have been helping us build this product. So just want to thank every single person who shows up, applied to the Max program, is doing the work, whether you're selected or not as part of the cohort. I really, really just appreciate every single person who's helping us.
Yeah, second that. Appreciate the kind words. Appreciate your time today. Thank you very much. And everyone who tuned in, thanks for supporting today. Go check it out, doma.xyz if you've not yet been there. That's our show today. That's episode 11. We'll be back soon. We'll see if we can get our guests. We did have planned today, but I'm looking forward to talking to the guests, but kind of glad we didn't, because I took away some new learnings today, and got my brain spinning. Mine's kind of blown with some of these stats and just even thinking through today's the internet in 2026. But covered a lot today. Inder, thanks again for holding the show down solo with me today. Recapping, trading bots are live. They're live. Trading bots are live, coming soon. Chat is live everywhere. Yep. DOMAXX, the first cohort, is live at maxx.doma.xyz, and D3 Edge, a brand new, completely separate product worth checking out at ai.d3.com. Subscribe, follow us on X, linked everything in the descriptions, and we'll see you next episode. Have a great day, everyone.
Hey, thanks.
Buying domains was low, Doma changing the game. One bridge, one standard, now the systems move the same. Registrar, stay central, keep the trust and control. DNS and compliance, still they play the key role. Traded on chain, let new markets arise. Domain value unlocked, welcome to DomainFi.